Hey, what is going on everybody? It is Nolan, or the Optimistic Gamer here, and welcome back to the Optimistic Survival Series. Video 2 with our brand new skin, and it looks very nice with our netherite armor. Of course, most of it is covered up, but that is okay. I would rather have a covered up skin with full enchanted netherite armor anyway. But today we are going to be working on our food situation because recently, I have not been keeping up with the animals. It is kind of a lot of work, and we are running on apples. That is where we are at. So we are actually building two different farms today. The first, well, I'm gonna do this one second so that the first one that we're doing has time to grow, but the smaller of the two will just be a very basic cow crusher, something that we can place wheat into, and the cows from entity cramming will be killed, and their drops will go through a furnace, and we will be able to get plenty of beef that way. Cooked steak. So that is coming up at the end of the episode though, because we are starting with a automatic-ish potato farm. It will automatically harvest the potatoes for us by having some water pour down this sloping hill, which is actually where we are building it. The potatoes will be harvested at the bottom, sent into hoppers, and fed into a smoker where they can be cooked into baked potatoes and serve as a very substantial food source for us. I've already built out a design in creative, and I've already gathered up the materials, so it should go relatively quick. As I said, we are just kind of building this right in here so I can clear away some of this grass. And you may have seen a certain design, similar design, compared to the one that I'm building. It's pretty standard. We're just going to have some dispensers at the top that will pour that water out automatically, and those potatoes will flow down. We are going to have 4 levels, 4 tiers of potatoes, and this will actually work with wheat and carrots as well. We just won't be able to cook them, but primarily potatoes, because baked potatoes are a pretty solid food source. Not as good as steak, but definitely very inexpensive. So let's go ahead and get started on this. It's, as you can see right here, a spruce and dark oak color palette with some stone bricks. It's gonna match our villager breeder that we have right over here, which is actually doing pretty decent. I think we have 2 villagers in there, and none down in the chamber right now, but that's okay. So they're just gonna keep at that, and it's also gonna match our smelting house right here, and it will especially match our wool farm, which I have not checked in a while. I would imagine all of those chests are full and the hoppers are backed up. So to start this farm, we are going to begin with our spruce log outline. These are going to be placed at the corners, and then from there we will be able to fill in everything in between and get a good idea of how this farm is going to fit in. I built this in a copy of this world, so I've already seen how it fits in with the land around us, so that will blend in quite nicely, but it's just about making sure that I replicate it block for block so that we don't have too many issues with the measurements. And of course there will be a lot of terraforming that we will have to do, just because this is a somewhat rugged landscape, and especially right down here where we have this cave, we may just end up filling this in so we don't have to worry about lighting it up. I think we'll actually just start from the top and then work our way down, beginning with the dispensers and that redstone wiring for those. And this is not going to be complex in any way. It's just going to be a row of dispensers, a row of repeaters, and a row of redstone dust. And then we're going to have a stone brick floor right up here, and a button is just going to be placed on the floor. I could build it through the ground and have a side panel with a button on it, but I just couldn't figure out a nice way to get that to blend in to the build, so we're going to stick with this. I may end up changing it later on. That's the beauty of this game. We can always come back to it if we want to change it. So stone bricks are what we are going with for the floor, and then right here we are going to have a nice glass border and some dark oak planks running along these sides. And we are also continuing our lantern pattern that we designed in that last episode when we did our concrete factory. And these will actually run the length of this farm and surround both sides. So it'll have a pretty nice look to it and be very well lit up, so the crops can continue to grow at night and we won't have any mobs spawning in the area. I realized I made these one block too tall, but that is not a difficult adjustment. And some rain has moved in, but that is not going to slow us down at all. So this upper section is now complete. I'll just fill in right here with a couple more planks. And as I said, that button is just going to be placed on the stone brick. Here's the shulker box. On that stone brick floor right down here. So just like that. I picked a stone button. It kind of blends in, and maybe we'll sprinkle a few more just to texture it a little bit and really conceal it. But once we hit that, the dispensers will fire, or water, I guess, and that water again will flow all the way down in that direction. So this is the upper part of that farm. Now we're going to start moving down this slope a little bit. And that will begin with a staircase actually going down right in this direction so that we can access this farm. So a combination of dark oak planks and those spruce logs, and then the stone bricks for that floor on the inside. Then we'll have a small staircase right here. Go ahead and fill in underneath there. And we'll fill in those railings with glass. Then I'll fill in right underneath here with some more grass. We don't need any mob spawning anywhere. There is nothing more frustrating than just hearing non-stop monster sounds when you have a cave or a small hole or something underneath your ground, and then you have to try and figure out where it's coming from and dig all over the place, and then you tear everything up. So we're going to prevent that today by having that dirt filling in for those holes. So now you can start to see this staircase coming into shape. We're going to have another spruce log right there that extends up to that glass. And then this staircase is going to extend down a couple more blocks just like this. And we will have another street light here on this corner. And then we'll fill in the inside a little bit as well. Clean up these walls a little bit so we don't have any of that exposed dirt anywhere. And some more dark oak planks right around those stairs. And I think we will also grab some dark oak stairs and round off these walls just a little bit since we don't have glass right there. There we go. So now we have our staircase up to this farm. I guess I could throw in a couple more stone stairs or slabs right there. And pretty much the entire upper part is complete. So now we will start on the actually functioning part of this farm itself with digging some trenches right here for our water. And I know it won't necessarily be showing, but I do want to put some dark oak planks underneath where the water will be. And we will also have a walkway right next to the farm that goes all the way down to our smelting area. So it'll sort of be, I guess, a viewing platform, if that's what we want to call it. And this will be adjacent to all of those trenches right there, so we don't have water spilling out all over the place. And then on each side of the stone brick, we will have some dark oak planks, just like that. And this pattern is going to continue all the way down all four tiers, where we're going to have these stairs right here to kind of round it off. And then these will just continue on to our next pillar of spruce. And then we will do that same thing again with another stair that goes down. And then from this side, we will fill in with dark oak planks. And get that right there. and it's kind of filling in that wall nicely. And we'll fill all of this in with grass so that we can till it and plant our potatoes. And we'll go ahead and make an infinite water source up here. Still had haste, forgot about that. And we can start filling in those trenches. Now, I don't know if the water can just be flowing or if we have to have a source block next to it, but I'm just gonna fill it in all the way anyway. There we go, so that is our first set of trenches. We will actually cover this with some more dark oak planks here on the side, and the land is ready to till. We can actually go ahead and do this now so it can start to hydrate, and then we will get some potatoes planted on here as soon as possible. So these are the tiers I was talking about. We will have 4 of these 8x7 sections going all the way down to about right here-ish. But I've decided I'm gonna fill in this cave right here and build up a little more land right around here so we don't have to worry about this being in the way. And with that out of the way, we can just continue to build our trenches here. And again, have those spruce log pillars right at the end. We will get that stair placed down right here, just to help with that flowing of the direction, that shape, I guess. And then the stone brick floor, we can fill that in right here. And we will build another street light right here. Huh. I don't know what to think of this. That was me scolding the villagers. I think... How did he get out? That's not supposed to happen. Well, let me get rid of these beds. I'm glad I noticed this, because then he would have woken up outside of the farm, and then who knows where he would have gone from there. Easy fix for this, though. We are just going to place a bed right in here on the inside, and he should pathfind to that bed, hopefully. Maybe, yes, there we go. And then we will place another bed on the inside. Unexpected turn of events. This farmer, though, isn't harvesting any of these crops, and it makes me wonder if perhaps the... Yeah, that's not gonna work. It makes me wonder if the composter, if he's not recognizing it, that could be the case. We'll put that farm on a hold for just a brief moment here while we get this ironed out. I'm just gonna bring up a second composter and we'll see if they recognize that. I was not expecting this to happen. I'm gonna need you to step aside while I place this composter. I should probably put the slab first. Alright, and then let's go ahead and remove these beds. We'll till that ground, and hopefully they'll recognize that. We'll see what happens here. But I clearly need to be more mindful about these beds and the placement. We'll try that. Hopefully that will prevent them from being able to get out again. It makes me wonder if he would have maybe woken up inside. I doubt that's happened before though, but who knows? I haven't been paying too much attention. Hopefully that second composter will help though. If it doesn't, that farmer villager, he might still be tied to a composter in the village. We could bring him right in here and he'll become that second farmer that we can have that composter for. Anyway, back to our potato farm. And on this outside portion of the walkway, we are actually going to have some glass panes right here, just so we can see out a little bit more. And I've gone ahead and finished up the first 2 modules of this farm. So we're just going to do that a couple more times, and then the farm will be close to being complete. We will just have to build the collection mechanism and the automatic furnace for those potatoes. And of course, this last module here will be 1 block shorter than what we've been doing, so that the water can flow over that row of hoppers, which I guess we could go ahead and add now. So the way this will work is we are actually going to have a barrel right here, and then right there, and then we will have 2 hoppers going into that. So that will collect roughly these 2 rows of potatoes. The reason for this is because we don't want to cook all of our potatoes. We want to have enough to replant what we have right up here. So about 2 hoppers will be enough to do that. I might even go with 3 since I did expand this 1 more module since when I tested it. And then all of these hoppers will face in this direction, which will go into a smoker, and we will place that right here. So a hopper going into that smoker, and then hoppers feeding into that one, just like this. And I realized this needs to come out 1 more. Smoker there, hopper, there we go. And then we will carve out this hillside and turn this into a really nice cooking area. And then right up here, we're going to have another platform similar to the one up at the top. We will place down some trapdoors so we can easily get in and out of this farm without trampling the crops, but they will also catch those potatoes and keep them from flying past these hoppers, because they do actually move pretty fast, as you will see by the end of this video. So the same pattern, once again, we're just going to have those dark oak planks in between the spruce logs, and stone bricks for the floor right in here. We will include a small staircase that goes down to our smelting area, and another small staircase right here for the raw potato collection area, which I am going to make look pretty nice, but we are not going to have this be too elaborate or anything. Nice stone brick platform right in here, dark oak planks going around the edge, spruce logs in those corners, and we will fill in those sides with some glass panes. And that will look the same along this side of the collection mechanism area, and then we can get those trapdoors put into place. Again, these will just be flush up against those hoppers right above them, so it will catch those potatoes, but when we want to enter and exit the farm, we can just put one down and easily walk inside. And a couple more street lamps here at the bottom, and there we go. So we are very close to being done with this farm. All we really have left is this cooking area right down here. Again, it will be a fully automatic, well, almost fully automatic furnace for these potatoes. So we will get this area filled in with some stone bricks. And then we have to have our fuel for the furnace, and we are sticking with some hoppers and barrels right on top of that. And then for the output from that smoker, that will feed into that chest right there. So we will put lava buckets or coal or blaze rods, whatever we decide, into there. That will feed the fuel. The potatoes will come in from the top, and in this chest we will end up with our baked potatoes. So it's a very nice system that we have going. We'll have a spruce log across the top right here, and you may have noticed I did have to make this 2 blocks wide just to get it to fit the way I wanted it to. So that's why this looks a little bit strange, but once it's all finished and you step back, you can hardly notice it. So we will have another stone brick staircase just feeding right down here, and another glass railing right next to those stairs. For this base layer going around these stone bricks, we are going to stick with the same spruce logs in the corner pattern and dark oak planks. Didn't mean to do that. Going around the edge of this stone brick. However, I'm going to do something a little bit different right down here. I'm going to leave some of these stone bricks exposed right under those planks right here, which actually, I realized these are not full planks. These are going to be stairs and slabs so that we really highlight this stone brick right here at the bottom. Just like that. And we're not going to do anything like that over here on this side. This is pretty covered up, and I might actually just extend those planks going down. Uh-oh. And again, we will have another glass border going around there. And our final lantern street light will be placed right here in this corner. This one will be 3 blocks tall. Nope, I'd take that back. It'll be that 2 block tall base that we have been sticking with throughout this build. And I'm realizing one of these street lights is probably messed up if I am a wall short, because I did count these out. I think it's that one right over there. Yes, that one is 3 blocks tall for the base. This one should also be 2. And problem solved. So all of our street lights are now in place. We will clean up this wall right here a little bit by adding in some more dark oak planks. And now the build is pretty much complete. I'm just doing one more pass by around the edge just to make sure that we got everything in place. I do still need to fill in the last trench right down here with our water. I was waiting to do that until we had that furnace area filled in. But we can go ahead and do this now. We'll get that covered up. One more stair right there, and one more over here. I guess I just had some extra dark oak planks in my count. We will till this land, plant our potatoes, fill the dispensers with water, and wait for those to grow. I also stole a couple of extra buckets from our super smelter. We'll get those placed into there. Those will feed into that smoker, and then we will get our water put in place right up here. So we have our water loaded into those dispensers. I'm gonna clean up this area right up here. This is where we had our old spruce tree farm, and we dug out a lot of that podzol for, well, what was that for? It was for our lumber yard that we built a couple episodes back. But now we are finally turning this into a more meaningful area, so we're just going to make it look a little bit nicer. Excellent. Clean up some of this podzol as well. That stuff gets everywhere when you plant those big trees. Perfect. It definitely fits in with the land quite nicely, which was my intent with it. So we will head up here, and even though we don't have any potatoes, we can go ahead and power this on just to see the water in action. So when we hit this button, those dispensers will shoot out that water. It should flow all the way down and cover up those hoppers right at the end, which it does. Once all those potatoes are gone, we can hit that button again, and it will scoop that water back up until we are ready for more potatoes to be harvested. And then those potatoes will feed either into this side where they will be cooked, or right over here into this barrel where we can collect them and replant them and continue that cycle all over again. So I'm gonna go grab some potatoes, we will get those planted and then make our cow crusher. And I am going to begin by planting these off to this right hand side, just because this is where our replant hoppers are. So I'm gonna keep these as far to this side as possible, and I'll just do this from up here. We're actually getting a lot more than I initially thought that we would get. There we go, so we have all of those planted. It's already about halfway, so once we are one harvest through, we should have more than enough potatoes. While these grow, let's head down to the barn and build a cow crusher. And of course, this is about as easy as farms come, so this shouldn't take us long at all. And I think we'll build it right here in this little notch in the side of this hill. We'll just clear a little bit of this dirt away. We don't need too much space for this. We'll start from the bottom, so we will have a barrel right here. We will have a smoker right above that, a hopper going into it. There we go. And then from this side, I guess, where do we want our fuel to come in? I think, will this go into the food slot? Well, that won't. Actually, I think it just filters automatically. Nope. Okay, I guess it has to go into the top. So this might be a little bit tall. I've not designed this one in creative, so not sure how we will get this to fit in, but we will make it work. But I think I'm seeing a good option for us. We will put a barrel right here at the base, a hopper going into that. On top of that will be our smoker. Into the side of that will be the fuel source from another barrel, and then a hopper right on top to collect our cow droppings. And then on top of this hopper, we will have our water source, just like that. Our cows will be inside of that water source, and then we will have a fence right above that. Just like that, our cows will be inside. So this is the total height of this cow crusher. I guess we can make it look a little bit nicer. Maybe if I turn this barrel, we will have that facing that way. And then here in these corners, we will go with some spruce logs. Of course, I'm almost out. Well, I think I actually have a little bit more back in the storage building. So a couple spruce logs in those corners, and then we'll fill in the rest of those sides with some stone bricks, just like that. And it isn't perfectly concealed, but I guess it kind of looks like a silo or something. We'll make it work. So now we've got to get our cows into place. We'll just build a small staircase right up here with some stone bricks. And let me see if we have any wheat in any of these barrels. Probably not. And where are the cows? There they are. Got a little bit nervous there for a second. Potatoes and wheat. Alright, this is what we want. And we only want 2 cows, so it might actually be easier just to get a lead, or we'll just let a couple cows exit out. That's a lot easier, and then hopefully they will follow us up this staircase and into this cow crusher. Come on. Uh-oh. I might need to make this a little bit wider. Here we go, and get in there. Come on. Oh, he's very close. Oh, dang it. Nope, nope, nope. Come on. No, dang it. Trial and error with this. We're gonna get it eventually. There's one. Now we just need the second one. Although what I might actually try, and this could end up working, if we do that and that. There we go. I kind of figured that might work. So we now have 2 cows in there. And unfortunately, my friend, you are food now. So we've got to get this fence on top of here. I probably should have waited to do the water. Let me see if I can scoop that up somehow. This might take a while. And I don't really want to wreck the underside because I don't want that baby cow to get out. You know what? I'm just going to try to place this fence. There we go. Alright, perfect. And with a little bit of luck, a little bit of design, we now have our cows into place. Clean this up just a little bit more here. Maybe add one more stone brick. I like that little cornflower there. Adds a nice touch. And there we go. There's our cow crusher. I think we'll put a ladder here on the back. And luckily for us, we have plenty of wheat from the wheat field that I planted over in front of the windmill. So we will be able to run this farm for a long time. And of course, having a cow crusher, it makes me wonder if we will even end up using the baked potato farm, but who knows? I think I probably will, just because it's so satisfying to watch. So we have a finished cow farm. I just need to get some fuel into the furnace. We have a finished baked potato farm, and I'm just gonna wait for those to grow so I can demonstrate how that works. And then we will probably end up ending the episode right there. I did realize something, though, that I need to address. Cows drop more than... Oh, wait, never mind. I forgot. I was about to say they drop more than just beef, but I think if they are killed with entity cramming, they do not drop leather. I guess we will find out soon enough, probably sometime in the next episode, because it's going to take a while to get those cows up to that entity cramming population. But right up here, we are just going to check on the status of these potatoes. They are coming along nicely. I'm going to wait a little bit longer, a couple more day-night cycles, and then we should have our first set of potatoes ready to be harvested. Well, we are doing pretty good potato-wise. They are not all 100% grown, but a good handful of them are, and I have eaten up all of the apples that I had. The cow crusher is still stocking up to 24, and you can also see I did finish off this path. I also did a couple of other housekeeping things I've been meaning to do. I finally got that mushroom taken care of in the graveyard over there, and I brought in another villager for that second composter, and that seems to be helping. I guess that other farmer is just interested in something else, but this is functioning again. We have a baby villager down there, and this area is all looking very complete now, so I am pretty happy with this. Let's run up here and give this farm a try. So our smoker has some fuel in it with those lava buckets, and everything should be connected. So if we hit this button, we will see some of the potatoes do get stuck up on the edge, but in my testing, I've only had that happen to a very small handful. We can go ahead and turn off that water. We'll grab that potato just for some good luck, and we will run down here. Our smoker is running. We can see our baked potatoes are going through there. I'm not sure if this will ever get clogged with poisonous potatoes, but of course the chances of that are very low, so we will check that just occasionally. So of course those potatoes weren't all fully grown, but we are looking for 3.5 stacks from this barrel, so ideally we would have gotten that. I'm just gonna steal a couple of the potatoes from this hopper and a couple more from in there, just so we can get all of these planted. But you can see how this farm works. We'll put the rest of those in there, and in here we have 20 baked potatoes. So very simple and very easy to use. I'm gonna go ahead and get all of these replanted, and then we will end the episode. And I forgot, I accidentally added that extra row from the end, so we have 8 left over. We will add those to the smoker as well. And let's go ahead and try one of our baked potatoes here. That's not bad. Tastes a little bit burnt, but I guess that's what we get for cooking with lava. But that is where we are going to end the episode for today. I really hope you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun building these two farms. Of course, one much more complex than the other. If you enjoyed it, definitely hit that thumbs up button and make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out on daily content as soon as I publish it. Check the description for some more important information, links, how to contact me, all of that good stuff. And with all of that being said, comment, like, subscribe, remember to stay optimistic, and I will see all of you tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Bye!